Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Every time it comes to the autumn time, I really start to reflect. Fall and winter are like the perfect time to kind of take a step back and work on yourself. These are 5 general mindset shifts that we can all try to make. But the first mindset shift that I want to talk about is letting go of a victim mentality. A victim mentality can take form in many different ways, right? So this can be in the form of complaining a lot, blaming other people, taking things personally. The core of the victim mentality is feeling like the world is against you and feeling like things are working against you. In order to shift away from the victim mentality, you have to be able to take accountability in any situation. Even if it's a situation where you feel like someone hurt you, this is not to say that you caused and or deserved to be mistreated, but you have to also look at the situation and see in what parts can I take responsibility so that you can not have those situations happen to you in the future. When you blame other people, you shift the accountability away from yourself, and then you see yourself as a victim of other people's actions. But the reality is you have more power than you think in creating your own reality. Another thing with the victim mentality is complaining. When you're complaining about something, you're feeling sorry for yourself because you feel like the situation should have been better and something was working against you that you don't have a better situation. So feeling like the world is against you, the more you complain about a situation and feed into that negativity, the more tense and stressed you're going to feel. And it's another form of feeling sorry for yourself, right? Like you feel like the universe has created a situation that was unpleasant for you rather than another situation that you could have had. For example, when you're in traffic and you're complaining, oh my God, the traffic is so bad. It's ruining my whole day. Like, is it really ruining your day? Don't get me wrong, traffic can be very annoying, but the more you complain about it, the more agitated you're going to get, the more irritated and the more tense you're going to feel, and that is what's going to ruin your day. I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but have you ever traveled somewhere with someone who just complains all the time? And situations where you wouldn't normally be annoyed, you start to become annoyed because this person is constantly complaining about everything. Food at the restaurant, or oh my God, the Uber is taking so long. When you're around someone like that, you really start to see how complaining ruin your experience. And those types of people are always going to be the first to victimize themselves in every situation, like the world is against me. Or have you ever been around someone where bad things are just constantly happening to them and they're always like, why is it happening to me? There's a very big correlation. So the more that you let go of becoming the victim in every situation, and the more accountability you take, the more power you take back from each type of situation, the more you're also going to be able to control your negative thoughts that lead to complaining, because you know that you have the power to control how you view a situation. If I'm able to take accountability in a situation where an unpleasant event might happen, at least I can be like, well, I control how I feel about this. I control how I react to this. And that is the real mindset shift. Give yourself a moment to feel and live and experience what just happened, but also tell yourself, walk away from victimhood, because otherwise you're always going to be in this constant state of feeling sorry for yourself. And so you won't ever feel the power to do more. You won't ever feel like you're able to go further than that place that you've placed yourself in your head, which is this little sad place of, I'm not strong enough to get out of that place. I'm not strong enough to fight back. I'm not strong enough to choose differently. I think that is where the accountability lies. Being able to look at a situation where maybe things didn't go as you would like them to, but recognizing that you have the power to choose differently and you're able to create better situations for yourself. And not walking from that situation only feeling sorry for yourself. The second mindset shift that I wanted to talk about today is you cannot think yourself into perfection. And this is for all of my overthinkers out there, and that includes me. Overthinking has paralyzed me in many situations. The more that you overthink, the less action you're going to take, because you're really trying to calculate every single possible scenario, outcome, contributing factors to whatever the outcome you're trying to get to. If you're striving for a goal, for example, like you really want to buy your first home at 30 years old, and then you're just overthinking about how you're gonna get there. Should I try this? Should I try to start my own business? Should I try to go to school and study this? And the more you think about it, the less you're going to feel motivated to do it. And I'm saying this because I've literally been there. I've probably spent more time overthinking in my life than actually taking action. And what I've realized is not taking action is worse than taking action and fucking up. Because at least you learn something from fucking up. You learn through experience. You're not gonna learn through these cycles of thoughts that are running through your head. Before I graduated, I was literally going through every single possible career path, really trying to think myself through every type of career path, which I think it is important to be intuitive and find a vision for yourself and a path for yourself. But also sometimes you're not going to know until you try, right? I got a job offer and then I was like picking apart the position and overthinking every possible thing that could have gone wrong. And then I ended up getting a second offer at another company. So these are two really great companies that I got an offer at. The salary was somewhat the same. One of the jobs, my good friend from school actually got offered the same position as well. I think just the nature of the job itself is a little bit less demanding, at least at that point in time. And so I started overthinking again, and I was like, oh my God, like, did I make the wrong decision? Maybe I should have considered the other offer. And at the end of the day, there was no perfect decision. I'm only going to find out if the job that I'm currently at is right for me if I do it. And it only causes more stress and anxiety to be thinking of every possible scenario or trying to pick apart like what could have gone better. There's never going to be a perfect moment. There's never going to be the perfect situation and outcome. You just have to be able to take moments and take situations, take opportunities, and try to make the best out of them. And that's what's going to bring you forward and bring you more understanding of yourself, bring you closer to where you need to be. Even with the whole YouTube thing, I had thought about it literally for years. Like, I had ideas written out from years ago and I just like never did it, never got a camera. I spent money on so many other things before I bought an actual camera to film my videos. And I finally did it, and I realized that, you know, part of overthinking is that desire to be certain about something. Humans, like, they don't like to be uncertain, right? Like, they like to feel safe, they like to feel comfortable, they like to feel like they know the outcome. This kind of brings me to my next point, which is direction is more important than speed. And I think that this is partially one of the reasons why people overthink so much. They look at other people and they compare themselves, and then they're picking themselves apart. And when you're not confident and insecure, you're not willing to take the leap, you're not willing to just try things out and have the power to bounce back from it if it fails. A lot of that has to do with the fact that we're so obsessed with speed these days, and we're so obsessed with like being super far ahead. Obviously, I think part of that comes with social media and how everything now is digital, everything now is instant. The more you scroll on social media and you see how everyone else is succeeding and you're seeing it at such instantaneous speeds, you start to become impatient with yourself because you're trying to jump to where they are in their timeline. You didn't see the steps that it took to get to where they are before that. I actually went to a conference the past 2 days. The guy, he's like a business coach and speaker. One of his mentees had come up to him at the event and was telling him just got into e-com like less than a year ago, maybe like a couple of months ago, and he's doing like 100K a month. And he's like, how do I make more? What he basically told the guy was, if you go any faster than you are going right now, you're going to fuck something up. Like you're going to miss some major detail, or sometimes going too fast is not good, right? Like when you're going too fast, it's also easier to crash. For example, if you're driving, are you gonna get to your destination if you drive at 300 kilometers per hour? Or if you take the right directions, like what's gonna get you to your destination? There's this urge to be as far as possible, as fast as possible, but you need to understand where you're going. Or, if you don't know where you're going, at least try to take some direction to try things out. When I first got my job offer, in my head, I was like, at this age, I wanna get married and have kids, and I wanna be making like this much amount of money by that time. But I felt like I didn't really have a vision. Like I just wanted a job that was gonna get me far in life fast. But now I'm kind of looking at it from a different perspective. I'm going to try to understand like, okay, like what do I not like about this role? What do I wish was different? And kind of let that define what direction I'm gonna move towards after this role. Because what was the point of me trying this out if I didn't learn what I liked and didn't like? I'm going to try to use this experience to guide my direction forward and not just try to like rush into whatever is next. Mindset shift number 4 is to start putting yourself first. There's been so many situations, relationships, friendships, where I feel like I tolerated things that I shouldn't have tolerated, and I didn't put myself and my feelings first. You need to be okay with choosing yourself. If someone is doing something that is upsetting you and you're letting them get away with it, you're choosing to let yourself be mistreated. Set boundaries and don't feel bad about it. Like whoever exits your life because of the boundaries that you set, don't look at it as a loss, look at it as a gain. You've made more space in your life for people who are going to be kind and considerate, for people who are going to care about how you feel, and for people who are going to see you for you. The people who are meant to be in your life are not going to leave your life because you set boundaries with them. And you also need to ask yourself, do you want to allow yourself to be mistreated so that someone else can be more comfortable, or so someone else doesn't have to deal with the unpleasant thought that they've upset you? It's a lose-lose situation. Like you think that you're doing them a favor by not upsetting them and telling them that you've done something to upset me or you're crossing my boundaries, and you think that you're preserving your relationship and that makes you feel good. You're doing no one a service, okay? It's a disservice to them and it's a disservice to yourself. You're putting your needs aside and you're saying that it's not important. And when you tell your needs that they're not important, you're telling you at the core of yourself that you're not important, you're not enough. You need the validation of other people to make you worthy, but you need to remember that you're validated just by being exactly who you are. And that includes the boundaries that you set for yourself. Putting yourself first also means investing time in yourself and your goals. You owe it to yourself to work towards those goals and to put effort and energy towards those goals. When you start pouring back into yourself and you put the energy and thought and emotion into what you want to achieve, those things are going to become reality. Whereas the more you put them off and you make time for other things that don't contribute to that, you're never gonna get to where you wanna be. Sometimes we have to put aside momentary gratification in order to achieve more long-term goals. And as you're investing time into yourself, invest in your health. Like your health should be your number one priority mentally and physically. Take good care of yourself. This is your vessel for the rest of your life. It's your way of navigating the world. So the same way that, you would get your car washed and fill it up with gas, and you should be taking care of your body in the same way. Make time to be active, nourish your body. I'm not a restrictive eater at all. Like I eat a lot, but I choose to eat foods that make my body and make me feel good, allow me to function at my best. Although here and there, I'll have fast food, but most of the time, I don't want to eat fast food because it makes me feel groggy, it makes me feel not energized. So these are things that you really need to notice about your body. What you're putting into your body is so important, and if you want to put yourself first, you need to understand how valuable your body and how valuable your mind is. You literally, I know everyone thinks it's so cliche to treat your body like a temple, but it really is like a temple. Like, and be aware of what you're putting into your mind too. So what you're feeding into your mind also matters a lot. Like, a lot of the content online nowadays literally rots your brain, especially I feel like on TikTok. Like, I deleted TikTok 2 years ago. I think you still can, you know, have a little scroll here and there. Like, yeah, sometimes I scroll through Instagram Reels or Shorts, but I really do try to limit myself. Like, throughout the week, like, I delete Instagram off of my phone so that I don't have the temptation to just scroll like that. Find other forms of content to nourish your brain and nourish your mind. There's more out there to be consumed for your mind than just like whatever you see on social media. So the last point that I want to make today, so mindset shift number 5 is to overcome the fear of being seen and let go the need to be noticed. I think most people crave to be noticed, whereas most people don't want to be seen. When we're talking about being seen, we're talking about people seeing us at our most genuine and authentic self. And I feel like that can be very scary for a lot of people because it's very vulnerable. There's no mask that you're putting on. Like, the need to be noticed is an urge that exists because you're able to control the narrative of who you are and the image of who you are to the perspective of others. When you try too hard to control your image, you're basically telling some parts of yourself, you're too embarrassing, you're too cringe, like, this is a part that needs to stay hidden. And then you're telling other parts of yourself that may or may not even be authentically you, actually. And you're putting that out for the world to see in hopes of being noticed. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that we see what is being rewarded with recognition and glory online and, you know, just in our world in general, and we try to imitate that. We live in a pretty like harsh and judgmental world sometimes. We also see people being very mean. You know, sometimes it makes us scared to show who we really are. But I promise you, most of the time, although there are gonna be really shitty and judgmental people out there, most of the judgment is still coming from yourself. Most of those thoughts that you're scared that other people are going to have of you, they're coming from you directly. By letting go of the need to be noticed, you're letting go the control that other people's validation has over you. I talked about this a lot in my Stop Living for Others video. And the more that you limit your authentic self in order to appease and appeal to others, the more insecure and unconfident in yourself you're going to grow, because you're constantly telling yourself, okay, these are the parts of yourself that you should hide. Us humans, like, we're very complex. We're not one-dimensional. All of the amazing and multifaceted ways that you exist, we have so many layers to us, and I think that it's very important to have people around you that recognize those layers, but most importantly, it's important for you to see those layers and for you to love every single layer, for you to love every single aspect about yourself. You can't pick and choose parts of yourself to show the world and pretend that the others don't exist, right? Like, they exist, like, they're still there. I think that this fear of being seen also sometimes holds us back from success. If you put yourself out there and you give something a shot and then you fail, you're scared that other people are gonna see you fail. On that note, all I wanna say to wrap up this video is don't hold yourself back in 2025. A lot of these mindset shifts that I talked about today, I think are really gonna help you propel yourself forward and kind of move past a lot of the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. Hopefully 2025 is an amazing year for all of us, and wishing you all success, prosperity, and just all the good things in life. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Drop a comment below on what you're trying to work on for 2025. Which one of these mindset shifts do you feel like resonated with you the most? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.